Beautiful.
That's lovely. All right, welcome, Indigo Goddesses. I am so excited to be here. It has been so long. A lot has happened, a lot of changes, and we are ready to come back stronger. We're going to have so much more content. And I'm here with these two lovely ladies. I am Lindsay, the Blue Pixie, and today we have Tracy and Michelle, and we're going to all be regulars, and we'll have other people, and some of us will come in and out maybe, but the three of us will be a constant on this channel. Tracy and Michelle, would you like to introduce yourselves? How about Tracy, you go first?
I'm Tracy. I am born and raised in Las Vegas, and I have traveled the world and seen a lot of different things and experienced a lot of different things and gone through a spiritual journey and finally here ready to serve humanity in its highest form and highest energy for all. Thank
Yay.
you.
I'm Michelle, and I live in California. I've always lived in California. I love crystals, magic, everything mysterious. And my main goal is uplifting humanity with my light, and that's what I'm here for.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself again since it's been a while. I am Lindsay, the Blue Pixie, and I go by Blue, whatever. And I am just I don't know, it's so much. I love nature, and I want to bring love and light to everybody to help everyone find the love that they have inside themselves and the magic. Um, and to help people look inside for the answers. I want to be a advocate and a guide to help you confirm what you already know, and maybe have more thoughts as we talk, but also just wanting people to know their own magic so they can know for themselves and not have to seek answers outside themselves. That's kind of what as well as let's just save the world and all be healthy. I do card readings. I love crystals, and I offer Akashic readings. And they're on this channel. If you want to go to our Patreon, you can click to get a personal reading as well as an Akashic reading. And that is just a great segue into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to kind of talk about the things that we are going to start offering on this channel, as well as go into the topic for the day. But no more buts. I don't like buts. um, Anywho's, so I am going to be offering a card reading, and we're going to have a free reading from me and Tracy are going to do readings once a month for free, and then we have stuff on Patreon. Michelle's going to do some crystals of the day as well as some other things. And I'll let them as well talk about what they want to do on the channel. If you are able to, if you want to go to our Patreon channel, as well as I'll have Tracy talk about where else we're going to be posting. We're going to have a lot of content as well as like classes, goddesses that we're going to feature, crystals of the month. We're going to have a free one, and then we'll have companion crystals and more information every month on that. We'll have daily messages on our channel. It'll be really awesome. Tracy, what are you offering on our channel?
So one of the first things that I'll be offering on the channel is daily messages to the seeker in these storylines that we are all going through. And the idea of this message is to entice you to think about your reality in a different perspective. And I write it in a way that anybody could find their own alignment through their own journey. And so, for example, Today's card was entanglement. Dear seeker, entanglements may arise, but remember, you hold the power to disentangle yourself from unhealthy situations or relationships. Have the courage to break free from manipulative. Okay, sorry. Have the courage to break free from manipulative influences and embrace your freedom. Trust in your ability to navigate through challenges with grace and resilience, with strength and liberation, your guide. And the idea behind these messages is to think about your day a little bit deeper and maybe reflect on lessons that the divine might be hinting for you to find within the little things that you do in your daily moments, your daily situations that you find. So when you're in the car driving and someone is upset, maybe they're not upset at you, maybe they're upset at something at home and you took the brunt of it. That doesn't mean you have to return the energy, but you can become aware of that miscommunication, that maybe that person is just projecting on you and you're transmuting that energy for them. And one of the best things that you can do is just send that person a lot of gratitude for the fact that you were able to experience and observe their struggle. And it's probably a struggle that you have dealt with too, especially if you can find and have compassion for others. So my messages will be um, more to guide you into the awareness of a different perspective. That's what I have to offer.
That is lovely. Yeah, and these are all messages you've channeled, is that correct?
So I pull cards and then I sit with the cards and I look at the specific deck that I use for this week is a deck by an artist. Um, I will have to find his name.
We'll put a
But
link
he
down in the
paints,
description.
yeah, he paints all of his cards. All of his cards are painted and follow him on everything. I don't like it's just, my brain the way it works. I can't remember it, but he's an amazing person. I've had some conversations with the creator of this tarot deck, and um, he I asked him a couple of times on his paintings, what is his perspective on his paintings, and he says, I don't have one. I let the viewer, the observer, create their perspective of the painting, which that totally kind of flipped my perspective on art because usually you're trying to guess what the artist is trying to convey versus the symbolism that you find in your everyday for yourself and what you're conveying to the world. So it brings a depth to the art.
I
So
love that so
I do
much.
that, and I am a dyslexic being, so I use tools to help me correct my grammatical errors and um, that's how it works for me. It's how I've used my tools in my reality. Everything is a tool, and you use it based off of your intent, and your intent drives the force of how far it's going to ripple out into the world. So
That is lovely. Thank you so much.
you're
Um,
welcome.
I'm excited to learn what the deck is. I'm sure everyone will jump or run down to the description. Like, I want to know. I love that because it goes into what I believe tarot and oracle cards are, especially oracle cards. Like the picture, a lot of times when you're reading cards, it's your own intuition. What is the first thing you see? And a lot of times it's the picture. And sometimes I look in the description in the um, card book, but not always, because I just do it by intuition. But a lot of times it's what picture, and it's the picture that reflects back your own soul. And so like if I'm doing card reading for myself, it's like, oh, what does this remind me of? It's bringing up a reflection of maybe something I need to work on or focus on, or know, an inner deep knowing. So I love that. Yay. Michelle, all right. Will you share all of your gifts and the things you are going to be sharing on our channel?
Yes. Thank you, Tracy. That was beautiful. Thank you, Lindsay. Um, I will be sharing about crystal magic and how bringing crystals into your life and into your home and into your everyday, and how once you have, gone within, you realize that these little crystals are helpers and they have energy. They have a real strong force energy and they speak to you. And once you start dabbling with these crystals, you're never going back. And so I'm showing, I think, crystal grids, right? I'll be doing gridding and how to grid your home and different crystals that support each other and how to, excuse me for my little pup, and how to just use those crystal combinations and just flourish with crystal magic.
Apparently, I muted myself. I'm really excited to learn about the gridding of the houses and stuff. I've done some, I've looked up, but I'm really excited to learn all of your knowledge in there, Miss Michelle, and excited to love crystals. And also, you're going to be doing the astrology messages as well in the daily.
The daily astrology messages as well. Yes. And that'll be me also learning alongside, because that's something that I want to dive down deeper into. So I will be learning along with what I'm putting up.
Yay, I'm so excited. That actually helps me remember something I wanted to talk about, is that this channel is about exploring our gifts. Some things we are very expert at, and other things we're wanting to grow at and learn more and diving deeper. And I want this channel to be an exploration for all of the goddesses and the divine feminine, and the exploring our gifts. And that doesn't necessarily mean male or female. We all have the divine feminine within us, but exploring that nurturing side of us and the gifts we have and sharing it with the world. And I want to have featurettes and goddesses, and even our Patreon and members. I would love to have a place where we can feature their talents as well, and just be a place for all encompassing and collaboration of women love and all the things that we are beautiful and we can do. So yay.
Yeah. Can I add?
Oh, please.
Sisterhood. This will be a place for sisterhood. This will be a place for, learning about divine feminine and just the things that we have forgotten and how women need to come together. And that's happening now, and that will happen on this channel. So I'm so excited.
Yes, there is something about that deep sisterhood of love, support, and building each other up that is just, it's magnetic. And when we work together, we create this amazing joy and beauty in the world, and it reflects outward to everybody. And when we do our inward journey and start loving ourselves, then there is no jealousy of other women, because we just want them to rise up with us, because we're all beautiful. And yeah, our own inner journey. Yay. Sounds like the theme of our video today is sisterhood or something. Sisterhood and collaboration, divine feminine.
Yes.
Oh, that reminds me. I am also going to be doing the messages. I'm going to be doing a dragon daily. We're going to be having daily messages every day, and it's going to be a different thing. So I'm going to be having dragon messages, fairy messages, that I channel, as well as do fairy and dragon cards for the day, whatever I'm feeling guided to do. As well as we want to do a goddess of the month with our crystal of the month. And so this month, our goddess is Mary Magdalene. And I have a activation that will be available on our Patreon. If you're not a member, you can actually go on there and just purchase the activation. It is really powerful. I was not expecting this download. She came to me. It was really wild. Can't explain. But Lady Magdalene is our goddess of the month. And so we're going to be exploring, and I feel like she has been coming out everywhere. Like I haven't even been seeking around. It's just, she is there. So I feel like May is a great month, Mother's Day and the divine and divinity. And she is a great goddess because I believe she is someone who may be underrated in a lot of circles. And she's a very powerful goddess. So yeah. Yay. Oh, and those are the Megan Watterson cards, the Divine Feminine deck. One of my favorites. She is amazing. Anyway, I highly recommend if you are into the Divine Feminine deck is lovely. So anyway, Tracy, you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm excited. My future, I'm hoping to get into human design, and I'm also hoping to share that with the channel as well. Human design it's another type of astrological birth chart system that uses your date and time and where you were born, and it talks about the different energy types, and there's five, and I'm a generator, and I want to share my story of just really falling in love with myself and who I am really allowed me to become who I am and find my strengths and weaknesses and turn my strengths into my powerhouse and turn my weaknesses into strength. We all have things that we don't like about ourselves, but the moment that you say, how can I love this part of myself? And you start becoming this creative being. Maybe people have always told you that you're a very loud, outspoken person. Maybe you're supposed to be a speaker, and you just need to fine tune those tools. So getting to fall in love with yourself and value that self-worth, I think this is the right place for everybody to find that safe place to fall in love with yourself, because when you can fall in love with yourself, you fall in love with everything in the world because you find yourself in everything. And that's beautiful. It's been a beautiful journey.
Yes, I love that. Thank you, Tracy. It is amazing when you start turning off those negative thoughts. And even if you have one, like not shaming yourself for it and just being like, why am I having this thought? And being an observer as your thought, as Eckhart Tolle and I've heard many others say, Abraham Hicks, and beautiful people that have wonderful messages, like tapping into yourself and knowing yourself and being an observer of your thoughts and wondering why those thoughts. And so then when you get into that ruminating of different thoughts and the negative pattern and going spiral, like what I have done in the past that has helped me, and you may find another method, but to get words out of my vocabulary or to stop negative thoughts is when they happen, look at it, don't shame myself, wonder why they're there. And if it's a word I don't want to say, actually stop and redo the sentence. Because when I started doing that, then it started just disappearing. Even, if I'm saying something negative about myself, changing the thought right then to a positive thought about that. And eventually it becomes a habit to just think the positive thought. It's work. It takes a lot to undo the programming and to know that you are worth it. And knowing what those triggers are, like understanding why suddenly you're having a bad thought, what's happening around you that triggered those thoughts, and to reassess it backwards and be like, really, is that true? I don't think so. So that's what's worked for me in the past to do those things.
Yeah, and I've done that too. And what I've come to realize is that I think if you change it, and see, I just said I think, um, at the beginning stages I like, right? Because if you hate something, you have to move into a different energy. So using the word I like is that baby step of you building that belief system behind something that you want to believe. So when you say I like myself, you know, maybe you don't love your whole self. Maybe there's parts of you that you like. And then you get into, I think I like myself. And you experience that, right? And then you get into, I know of myself. And each of these layers is bringing you back to self, which is what we're all trying to get to in the first place. So what I do is instead of saying to myself, I don't like this word, I say, how can I adapt this word? How can I change it so that I do like this word? And every time you do that with anything that you don't like, you're transmuting the energy of the belief system that you were taught to live by. And you get to choose everything. So it really just comes down to whether or not you want to reprogram yourself or you just want to keep being programmed. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I found that has helped me with self-love just is mirror work. So, standing in front of the mirror, undressed, and looking at your body, and just no matter what phase you're in, loving it unconditionally, no matter what you see, no matter, the lumps, the bumps, whatever, just fully loving yourself unconditionally. And it doesn't happen all of a sudden. It takes time, and then before you know it, all of a sudden you look at this body in the mirror and you're like, I love this body. This is an amazing body. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Because you've changed the workings in your mind. And now what is looking back at you is nothing but beauty, because you love this body unconditionally, and you know everything that it's done for you and everything that it will keep doing for you. And once you learn that, it opens so much doors to everything. You really, Tracy's right. Getting back to self is the number one thing. You have to love yourself to pour out love to everybody around you, pour out love into the world. You can't do that if your body's not full of love. You have to start here within. And then all the tools that are sent to help us will start unlocking. It's like a whole intricate system that we're in.
Yes. When you love yourself, you stop looking outside for that love. And so your relationships are healthier because you're not depending on someone else to love you, to love yourself. You have to love yourself first, regardless of anyone else around you. And that just enhances your love, because then there's no agenda. It's just like, I love you unconditionally and I love myself. And there's boundaries, of course, but you set boundaries instead of being in this unhealthy relationship of attachment that I need this from you because I can't get it from myself, which that's not the other person's responsibility, nor is it's your own responsibility to have your feelings and your love for yourself. And then you can allow others to love you more. Once you open your heart to yourself, there are no limits. It is limitless.
It's true. It is, because I was in that energy of not loving myself at all. And that is when I absolutely hated myself. And it wasn't until you get out of that energy and you look back and you're like, man, I was really hard on myself. And that's it, right? We're constantly doing for everybody else. And we're not even paying attention to what our body is doing for us with all the stuff we throw at it, all the stuff we allow to happen to it. So when you're building, your boundaries and your protection and all that, what you're really doing is saying, okay, body, I'm standing up and I'm not going to let anybody mess with you anymore. Like, I am protecting you just like you have been protecting me this entire time. And when you can start seeing that connection, that should have been the first connection always, right? Because when you're in a relationship with another person, and relationships aren't just sexual, they're not intimate, they're relationships with our parents. There's relationships with our uncles, there's relationships with friends, there's relationships with random people that we don't even talk to. But you're walking through the same environment, energetically, you're connected for that moment. And because you're in that moment, the most amazing and thing that you can do for anything in that moment is to observe them in their natural environment. Just, just observing them, watching them, see who they are. Let them show you who they are instead of telling you who they are. Because when you can get to that point, then you can see whether or not their actions meet their words or their words do not meet their actions. And it really does tell you a lot about other people.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a fine line of, I mean, we have our observations of our past to know our future, but being in the present and feeling someone's energy in that moment, that is where they are in that moment. So I think it's important not to judge a person's whole existence by a moment either, but also it's important to understand that this person's actions are totally different than their words. So it's important to know that, because then you can future, like, yeah, it's important to know those things as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you walk into a room and there's hostility immediately, okay, I'm going to approach with caution here. You're not going to come in with your guns blazing.
Yes, it helps you know knowing the energy of the room helps you know, like, if there is a somber and everyone is praying and you come in and just like being like a happy, cheerful self, even if you're a bright light, it is not the moment. So, yeah.
Um, and honestly, when I hated myself, sorry, am I supposed to be live right now? Because I'm like,
Yeah, no, go on and I will edit it the way it looks
okay.
seamless.
You know, but that's a big thing when we hate everything about the world. When we say I hate people, that's part of us, right? We're people. So we're essentially saying that we hate a part of ourselves. And your body doesn't know if it's you talking or the person next to you talking. And that's why it's very, very important to be around people that aren't constantly bringing themselves down. Because when they're saying it, your body's hearing it as well. And when your body hears those things, you should constantly be in your head, I'm not saying that, that's not me. Like, I love you. You should always, like, as soon as you have that thought where you're like, who's saying that? That is not me. Those moments, remember that you wouldn't let a small child talk to themselves like that. Why would you talk to yourself like that? And so when you start really thinking about your mental state and where you are, you can see where your vibration is based off of those mental thoughts in your head. Because if they're angry thoughts, then you might be angry. And if they're sad thoughts, they might be because you're sad about something. And when you have those thoughts, you can start saying, okay, well, why am I having sad thoughts? And when you get into that, you can be like, well, what am I sad about? What is making my body sad that I'm hearing the thoughts of sadness, the vibration of sadness? And when you can start doing that, that's when you can start falling down all of these rabbit holes of where you started to believe something about yourself that is not true. And that really, really, really helps you learn how to fall in love with yourself again.
Yeah. And it's important when you have,
that's what we were talking about.
yeah. It's important when you have those thoughts. I feel like it's important when you have those thoughts not to shame yourself, because you're going to have it. If you say, oh, I shouldn't be saying that. No, be like, why am I saying that? Ask questions and then go back. And like you said, don't ever shame yourself and allow yourself to have sad feelings. Like, why am I sad right now? Okay, that's genuine. I'm going to feel my feelings and let them go. and then see, because if you don't feel your feelings, they're just going to explode in other places and you're going to be tense. Like, feel those feelings and then realize the truth that you are loved, you're always loved, and you can come back from that. And if you need to cry for 10 minutes, maybe your body needs to release all of those emotions. And just, it gets important. Or if you need to laugh for 10 minutes, like sometimes it doesn't always come, or yell for 10 minutes, or just scream. Like sometimes, depending on the emotion, like you need some sort of physical, tangible release from that emotion. It's important.
Yeah. And I really think like being your own cheerleader, you know, you become your own cheerleader because you know that you can't, you know, you're not focused on, you know, other people praising you or giving you the feedback that you think that you need. You can be you're the only one that can do that for you. So, you know, not beating yourself up, patting yourself on the back, being proud of yourself for the things that you've accomplished during the day, you know, just take a breather, sit back and think about all the things that you did, you know, that day. Like, it's amazing. We're really amazing once we really start to think about it. And I think we're just so hard on ourselves all the time. Like today, I made myself go to yoga, even though I had a million things to do. I got to yoga and my yoga teacher was sick, so it was canceled. And instead of just being like, oh, I'm going to go home, I did a little workout, even though I don't really like to do weights, but I did. And then I went and did my own yoga in the studio. But I made myself accountable, you know what I mean? And I feel so good that I did it instead of just going home and being like, oh, well, my yoga instructor's not there and who cares? I'm not going to do it today. You know, I pressed on, I did something good for my body and I feel so good about it.
Yay. Self-care is so important. We're going to,
and you adapted. You adapted on the situation.
Woohoo! Adaption and self-care. Yay. Thank you for sharing. Oh, awesome. I love you ladies so much. And thank you so much for being here today and being a part of this lovely collaboration. If you'd like to support our channel, we have links to do so. And as well as we have memberships you can join with a lot of extra content. We're going to have some classes as well as a whole library of, I'm hoping to get quite a few on there soon, but for like mindfulnesses and little meditations to help you balance for the day that you can just go to and for whatever reason. So I'd like to have those on our channel as well. So they are there and lots of content and just excited to have this journey. Thank you all for our members and subscribers. We appreciate you, and please comment below and like our channel and subscribe if this is something that you are resonating with. Any other last thoughts, ladies?
Do something nice for yourself.
Yes. Love yourself. Know your worth. Find that inner goddess within yourself. Know you are divine. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next month for our podcast. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of your May. Wonderful. Oh, as I was going to say, do you think it would be fun to do like when we do podcasts that like we do like takes or extras of like before and after the podcast for our Patreon members?
Yeah, let them see our mistakes.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make them.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn from them. And then we're going to make fun of each other for them. So it's okay.
Yes.
And you could use that as the intro right there.